All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Sunday, July 3rd. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. It's August 3rd, Clayton. I don't know how
August 3rd. Oh, shit.
of all the dates to make the mistake, it's as if you didn't want to remember that it's the day after your birthday.
That's true.
So
I wanted another month before I had my birthday celebration again.
Sorry, it happened. It's over. Your birthday happened. No one cares. Moving on. But no, we did
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Clayton.
Thank you, Dave.
And the voice you hear, and if you're, of course, watch on YouTube, the punim that you see is, of course, David Thompson of thedirect.com. He's web slinging, and he is now a Miami David. I mean, David,
Right.
Can you talk us through the new look here? The shades, the F1 hat, the sun shining in from behind you. What you are now, Miami David.
Miami David is here. It is temporary, so I really have to just make my presence known on the BO Boys podcast. Thanks for having me, guys, by the way. Pleasure to be here.
Anytime.
F1 hat free from Comic-Con. Someone just randomly handed it to me, and I was like, they're like, do you want this? I don't want it. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Didn't pack any other hats. So this is really came in clutch. Needed a hat, as always. Got the shades on, went full Clayton mode. And no, it's not to hide the Fantastic Four tears streaming down my face. That's not why I'm wearing sunglasses. I just want that to go on record.
I mean, this was a last minute surprise drop in by David, because David texted me about an hour before we were going to go on the air. Just texted me that drop, just those words, that drop, the F4 drop. And I was like, you got to come on the show and talk about this, because if anyone needs to make sense of what has happened this weekend, it's David Thompson and the Direct, who, of course, we talked about it last week. David and I hung out in person at Comic-Con, and there were three things height-wise that everyone at Comic-Con was talking about. They were talking about the giant Galactus walking around the convention center, and they were talking about how tall BO Boy Pat is and how tall David Thompson is. Clayton, someday you hopefully will be in the same room as David Thompson and witness it. This is a tall man here.
Yeah.
This is a tall drink of water.
Pat doesn't care about personality.
Nope.
About morals.
Nope.
About anything other than the height of another man.
Yeah, and monetary stature and
I don't know. I think height is the most important thing.
Yeah, height is the most important. And David,
I buy that.
Height. Yeah,
because Pat, you're like 7 foot, so
yes,
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a tall man is here, and he's got a tall order, because we're gonna have to talk through the second weekend drop of Fantastic Four. So Clayton, can you give us a birthday weekend plow, even though your birthday is over and done with and we've moved on, a birthday weekend plow for August 1st, 2025?
The Fantastic Four First Steps made $40 million, down 66%. It's at $198.4 million in its second weekend. Number two, The Bad Guys 2 made $22.2 million in its first weekend. Number three, The Naked Gun made $17 million in its first frame. Number four, Superman made $13.8 million, down 44%. It hemorrhaged theaters, losing 393. It is at $316.2 million in its fourth weekend. Number five, Jurassic World Rebirth made $8.7 million, down 34%. It lost 310 theaters. It's at $317.6 million in its fifth weekend. Number six, Together, a Neon release, made $6.8 million in its first weekend. And then The Man with the Hat, we got to talk about F1. Lucky number 11, F1 the movie, 4.1. It lost, it's down 35%. It lost 591 theaters. It's at $173.2 million in its sixth weekend of release. And that's your lucky number 11. But really quick on F1, that just became Brad Pitt's biggest international hit.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So bigger than World War Z.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is surprising. Bigger than Troy, bigger than World War Z, because those are the ones bigger than the Ocean's movies. Are they counting the Ocean's movies? I wonder if those.
I think it's his lead movie.
His lead movie. So bigger than Once Upon a Time, bigger than World War Z and Troy would be the big one. So that's impressive. So it's at 173 domestic. It'll probably get itself to 180 in the 180s and stop there. David, you're wearing the hat. Do you see this as a big enough win for Apple, for Crapple TV Plus, that they are going to start theatrically releasing movies again? Or do you think this was, they got out of this okay, but they're still going to send everything to the Crapple TV Plus service?
I think they've learned that when you put this kind of money into a project, to get the money out, especially when it comes to having, because all Apple does is just tag their projects with huge stars. And they did that again here. So I would say, I think honestly, beyond just like, not just all of Apple's products going to theaters, unfortunately, F1 2, F1 3, like franchise this thing.
Yeah.
I could see them trying to go that direction, or maybe being more open to, a Joe Kosinski style director and bring those guys in to keep making high quality movies like this. They have that Apple sheen expensive feel to them, you know, and I really think that's actually like part of like their whole strategy and all of this. Like Apple products in this movie look really cool, as well as the cars and Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. So I'm fascinated to see going forward what they do. But if I'm being honest, I bet they don't learn much.
Wow.
It's a shame because these Kosinski directed movies feel like some of the rare theatrical releases that actually look like theatrical releases that we remember.
Right.
The quality, the way they're shot, the way they look. Like most movies now look terrible, and they're directed by people who directed TV shows.
Right.
TV,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about Fantastic Four from the director of WandaVision.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Kosinski, this establishes Kosinski as his movies have to be in theaters. Whatever vehicle he picks next. And I think it's going to be a boat. I think he went air, land with the F1 with the car. I think he's going to go boat soon. And I think the Joe Kosinski boat movie will have to be a wide theatrical release.
Joseph, I mean, are you friends with him?
I mean,
I'm
I
wearing
think
the hat.
he'd be okay
I say
with
Joe.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and if David says Joe, I could say Joe because we've hung out in real life and we're both tall. So,
oh, there we go. See, there we go.
I think he's tall too, by the way.
And he's tall. Yeah. I mean, that's why we all could do nicknames. Tall guys use nicknames around each other. But we will call you by Clayton, by your full Christian name. So
I'm not tall.
You're not tall, but it's not enough. So let's go right to number one, because this is the reason that David's here. He was chomping at the bit. Fantastic Four dropped 66%. So to put that in context, Brave New World dropped 68% in its second weekend. Thunderbolts Asterisk, I think, dropped 57, like in the mid to high 50s, 56. Yep.
But Thunderbolt went from a lower. I mean, Thunderbolt went from like a lower.
Yes. But
place.
I mean, it seems like what this shows us is this is not catching on, and the general audience doesn't really care. I mean, David, you're the guy. You're our chief comic book correspondent. People are giving you free hats at Comic-Con because they know you're the guy. What does this second weekend tell you? What was your first reaction when you saw a 66% second weekend drop for F4?
Yeah, I've got a few takes on this. The first one is this isn't great. And I think the main thing with the reason I'm saying this isn't great is because Superman did catch on, and Superman is having legs. And my second point off of that, which is I shared this on the direct podcast on Friday. We're doing like a segment kind of sharing hot takes and true or false and just all these things about Fantastic Four. And one thing I brought to the table was Fantastic Four should have been delayed. Not because the movie was bad or be like, not a critic hunt. I don't care about that. It should have been strategically delayed, probably to November, maybe even later. Give it some space. Give us some breathing room. There's a lot in theaters right now, especially this weekend. There's so many July holdovers now with even more with The Naked Gun opening in August. I know that late July slot was just this primo MCU slot after Deadpool and Wolverine last year. But you gotta be able to mold and adapt. And now we're looking at where, Spider-Man and Doomsday are gonna go gangbusters next year because there's this massive gap. Matt Rimke on the Direct Podcast, my co-host, he made a great point. He did the research. This is any comic book movie, not even just Marvel, from Fantastic Four to DC Supergirl at the end of June. It's the biggest break we've had of no superhero films since 2011.
Wow.
Now, that's a great thing in a way because that does not mean we have Sony shit to sift through this winter. That's great. What a win. But it also means why is Marvel Studios releasing 3 movies between January and July in 2025 when Disney is not purely distributing a Marvel movie until now Christmas 2026. And sure, like the break could benefit those films, but the cramped fashion of which this is being released didn't help Fantastic Four. And the third thing I had, I think it should have been delayed a bit. The third thing I had is, look, I guess the glass half full thing I have is it is still outperforming the likes of a Thunderbolts and a Captain America. Like, I don't think this is like, blare the alarm necessarily, but it should be performing better. They expected it to perform better. It's going to now come in third place when it comes to the Jurassic, Superman, Fantastic Four July competition. And that's not normal for the MCU. Superman is going to be the highest grossing superhero movie of 2025. And it's the first time DC's done that, I think, in like 20 years or 15 years, something like that.
Wow.
But David, if people wanted to see a movie, they'd go see a movie. Like, I understand what you mean about wanting distance and stuff, but that feels to me, it's strategy because you have a product that people aren't sure about. That's the issue. The issue is that people used to climb over their grandmother to see Marvel movies.
Yes.
And now
then grandma would be hanging onto the foot saying, take me to.
Yeah. And he'd be like, no, you're
grandma
dead weight. You don't get Loki. You don't understand you don't know what the Infinity Gems are. You don't know any of this. Grandma, get off of me.
Get off my foot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is that we can come up with reasons and we can come up with strategies for Marvel, and Kevin Feige's doing it. They have to figure it out, right? But at the end of the day, if people are excited to see a movie, they will go see a movie. They will not spend money to see another movie to see the movie they want to see. And Fantastic Four is just not that for the general public.
Right. There was a time when the first Captain Marvel came out, a month or two after Black Panther was just making over $1 billion, and people didn't care that there was only a 6-week gap then. I get it now. People don't like these movies as much, so they want some breathing space. But I think if you open Fantastic Four in November, December, we'd have similar results, and people would say, why'd you open it so close to Avatar? Or why'd you open it so close to The Running Man, or whatever the big movies are coming out then? I think it's just nobody cared about these characters, and Superman had stuff that got people talking. I mean, I've said on this podcast, my wife, parentheses Borat, my wife went to Superman of her own volition, wasn't dragged there, didn't lose a bet, went with a friend and her uncle to see Superman because she had heard there's things in this that I'm interested in. I just don't think that was getting out with Fantastic Four. I think the word was, it's not a disaster, but it's kind of boring. And I think that's kind of the word on this movie right now.
Did you guys see it? Pat, did you ever go see it?
So I did not see it. I was going to go see it the Saturday night of Comic-Con, and I chose to instead just go out for drinks with coworkers.
Yeah.
Because the buzz that I had heard was it was fine.
Yeah.
And I'm out.
I told you that. Yeah.
You told me it was fine. I've heard of other sources who had seen it. It was good. And at that point, listen, I'm going out on the company dime. I'm not wasting that night on going to see a movie that was fine. I was telling Clayton this. the last 2 Marvel movies this year I have seen on airplanes. I saw Brave New World on an airplane. I saw Thunderbolts Asterix on the way back from California last week. Chances are someday I will see Fantastic Four First Steps on an airplane.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at right now. And I think that's where a lot of people are at.
And
These are airplane movies at best.
Unfortunately, no part of your ticket, your Delta ticket, goes towards the box office for those movies.
No. And I get no Sky Miles for watching it, which I think I should.
You should.
I do think I should have earned 3 times Sky Miles for watching Thunderbolts Asterix on that last flight. That's something for me and Delta.
I mean, they should they should start. I mean, I do think now, like you're saying this, start releasing MCU movies to Delta.
Ooh, I don't know if we're there yet. I think we may be getting there. So within the direct world, you know, the people who are, they live and breathe this stuff, working alongside you. Are you starting to hear some panic within the Marvel world, the MCU world? Is Feige on the hot seat? Is he on the hot seat after this?
I mean, no. Like, if you look at his track record, and I think there's a lot of pointing fingers with the Disney Plus stuff. He just pointed fingers with that, you know, where it's like that wasn't. It's hard to blame Feige for all those shows that came out from 2021 through 2023, 2024, because that was a Disney move. Disney needed their cash cow Marvel to give them product on Disney Plus to compete with Netflix, even though that makes no sense. Right. So that's had irreversible damage. And one thing that this movie, I think, actually drew in audiences for, that got it to 117 million opening weekend, the same as Guardians 3, but Guardians 3 dropped like 45% second weekend, and there's James Gunn, you know, racking it in. So when we look at Fantastic Four, I am still people wanted to go see this movie a little bit because there wasn't much homework. That was a positive, you know. That's what was interesting about it. Like there was a positive for this film where it is so isolated. It doesn't. One of my critiques of it is it doesn't set up Doomsday in a huge way. Whereas I'm a massive fan. I've seen every second of everything MCU. Like I love the connective tissue. I want to see things set up the next thing. So no, I don't necessarily blame Feige. I mean, Fantastic Four is an obvious move. You get the rights from Fox finally to bring them into your own universe, even though you don't actually technically even do that. You just put them under your banner.
It's a different Earth. So Clayton, just so you know, I haven't seen the film, but I do know this is a different Earth. So there you go.
I know that too.
Retro futuristic, all that jazz. But you know, it's interesting because that's the question. Who is the blame? What is the problem? Is there really that big of a problem? Is it just a sign of the times? Are less people going to movies in general? Like you talked about that stretch from Black Panther to Captain Marvel to Infinity War. We're never going to see that again. No. Like that was when there was way less projects. It was a brand new thing too. Like this concept of all of these movies being chapters in a larger story, and them all generally being good, and it being able to capture the general zeitgeist. That's the big thing you guys said. Like the general audiences, just the people that just walk up to a movie theater on the weekends and buy a ticket, see what's playing. We're never going to get back to something quite like that. We will still have our big hits. You know, I think, you know, maybe I'll come back on in a year and Spider-Man will be at already $500 million or something. Who knows?
Right.
But like it is... Fantastic Four was always a miss in theaters, and this is a success, I would say, like it could, on that scale, but compared to old numbers, not really. And look, Brave New World, Thunderbolts really surprised me with how poorly it performed, because that movie was well received, and I really like that movie. I think it was great. I like that movie more than Fantastic Four. So seeing what's happening right now, it's a little panicky. Honestly, like at the direct and stuff, the big story is Superman. It's DC. It's like, oh shit, because comic book movies. Like now it kind of is like because there was a long period where it's like it's superhero fatigue, superhero fatigue, superhero fatigue. Is it Marvel fatigue? What kind of fatigue is it exactly? And that I think goes back to my point, Clayton, when I said giving it space. Because for a lot of people, general audiences mainly, you saw Superman. I'm good with comic book movies for a while. I don't need 2 weeks later to go see Fantastic, or 3 weeks later to go see Fantastic Four. It's interesting, and I think we still see like opening day, preview night, Thursday night was still bigger than Superman. Those people like me, like the crazed fans, are still sprinting out there as quickly as possible to see the next MCU movie. It's just continually over and over again, the holding power is slipping. And I don't know what they do to adjust that besides what they're doing now, which is just, I mean, it's just halting. It's basically, they've just come to a stop. There is just nothing. Like they have, all they are doing now, focused on, they have one TV show, or one that needs to come out, one in production, and they have essentially 2 movies happening, the 2 Avengers movies, and that's it. Like they're hitting the reset button. Like it's nothing that they learned from Fantastic Four they can even put into action anytime soon. I mean, that's what's so wild about this, is that we don't, at the post Fantastic Four, that's it. Like that era in a way is done. We are now into the Avengers era, the reset era, and we'll see what happens from there when they bring back in the X-Men.
I mean, are they basically, and you're right, the X-Men is going to be the key. That's something they could do. Whether that is going to work, I think is not a slam doink. I don't think it's a slam doink. But are they just the Avengers now? Is this every 2 years there's an Avengers movie, and that's what Marvel is? I mean, the Spider-Man thing is its own thing, obviously. Spider-Man's going to be gigantic. It's going to be $1 billion baby. It's going to be huge. But I mean, Clayton, you said this before we went on air, and I want to get David's take on it. Clayton has some doubts now about Doomsday, about Avengers Doomsday.
The problem with Doomsday is that all you're doing is accumulating a bunch of characters together that had movies that nobody wanted to see. Mm-hmm. So you've got the Thunderbolts, * New Avengers in this. You have you have the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. You're going to have some legacy characters, obviously, but you're going to have
the Captain America from Brave New World.
Absolutely, you're going to have that.
Yeah.
You're going to have some of the dragging these James Marsden back and like
right,
Ian like McKellen. Those guys, Ian McKellen, who people I think still think of fondly now, but after Doomsday, who knows? Right, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, those are
very old, and we're not ages here because we plan on doing the BO boys well into our early hundreds for sure. But Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, these men are old.
Yes.
And it's hard to get around how old they are.
And to go back to that feels sad more than exciting. The way, they brought them together in Days of the Future Past, that felt exciting, but now it just feels really, really sad. So I do think that Doomsday, I mean, there's a possibility that Doomsday is not even $1 billion baby.
What do you think about that, David? Is there a chance that the time between now and Doomsday, obviously, again, Spider-Man will come out next summer, everyone's going to love it, but the time between now and Doomsday doesn't whet the appetite. It makes people just feel like even more, this is kind of a joke. And the RDJ thing, is he going to be a little bit, I know you're pointing with a big smile on your him, but does the public say that's just like a paycheck? I mean, what do you think? What do you think about this Doomsday is no longer a slam doink theory?
Yeah. I think if this was the Kang Dynasty, Clayton would be right on it. But to Feige's credit, and as silly and cheap and just kind of like uninspired, some people might call it, bringing back the Russos from the directors of Avengers Endgame, right? Bringing back Robert Downey Jr. As a new character, that's. I know Deadpool says he's Marvel Jesus. Downey is Robert Marvel Jesus,
Wow.
that is Marvel's savior at the end of the day. And that's why they brought him back, and they're paying him. They're going to pay him like half the box office just to be there. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money he's making from this film. And I think that's the answer. Like, and I know it's a lot riding on that. I do also think the time in between is going to help greatly this movie. It's not gonna like worsen. It's not gonna hurt the film at all. Like, I think now that it's a Christmas release, that's gonna really hit. I think at the time, getting the Avengers back, those trailers are gonna go absolutely crazy. There might be, who knows, maybe there'll be a teaser ahead of Avatar, maybe by the Super Bowl. We'll see. I mean, it's a long ways away, but they've been filming for months now. I do see, Clayton, I do see your point, though, because in many respects, I do agree. It's like, of the chairs, of the confirmed cast on the chairs, the iconic Marvel chairs,
yes,
there's not that many box office winners from pre-COVID that were in the MCU. Hemsworth, Downey, of course, but then it's the Fantastic Four. It's all those teams, Thunderbolts. Like, there really isn't that many. Like, even OG Avengers, like Mark Ruffalo is coming back for Spider-Man, but he's not confirmed from Doomsday.
Was Doctor Strange one of the chairs?
He was not. Benedict Cumberbatch is not a chair, but he
not
might
a
be in the
chair.
movie. He might be in the, like, that's the crazy part, is because, like, Doctor Strange 3 is one of the most circled, possible movies that's going to come out in 2027 or 2028, but there's no confirmation. We have no information. We know he's going to be in at least one of the upcoming Avengers movies, though. Black Panther, but because Chadwick Boseman passed away, like, a little less star power with, like, that iconic character T'Challa. But like the Wakanda crew is going to be showing up in Doomsday, and Wakanda Forever was a big hit. Like, that definitely helps. That's a boost. It's fascinating to me, because what I do think this means, though, I think $1 billion, like, and that's just obviously kind of our metric for, like, massive hits. I could see where it's not quite as big as maybe they are expecting, though. I could see where it's like $1 billion flat, like maybe it just makes as much as Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, probably not. It probably makes more than that. But
I mean, could it make less than a Thor Love and Thunder? Were we living in a world where Doomsday?
No.
You don't think it makes less than Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder? It'll be bigger than those.
And I'd be stunned. And by the way, time machine, ask us in a year after Spider-Man hits theaters. Like, it's going to be a whole different vibe by then.
But here's the issue, I think, is that what we're realizing is that Batman, Spider-Man, Deadpool, at least right now, these are the marquee characters that will get box office independent of anything else. People just like those characters, right? The thing with the Doomsday and Spider-Man is that in the general public's mind, I don't think they care if they want to see a Spider-Man movie. That doesn't mean that they want to see a Doomsday Avengers movie anymore, right?
There's a chance that Spider-Man is bigger than Doomsday.
I think it could. It could be because Tom Holland is a huge star for young people. They'll go see stuff that he's in. Now, Spider-Man, of course, is like perennial, always going to do well, superhero character in general, just even beside being a superhero character in general. I think there's a lot of hand-wringing and a lot of questions as to why Marvel isn't doing as well as it used to. It's the same thing with Pixar. I think we're forgetting the fact that in culture, things come in and out of vogue. And the fact that the Marvel universe and the MCU movies were as big as they were for as long as they were is incredible. The fact that Pixar was a stamp of quality for as long as it was is incredible. But the fact is, neither of those things matter as much to the general public anymore, because that's the way culture moves. That, I think, is the essence of it. You can try and think, why do people not like Fantastic Four? Why do people not like this? And why do people not like that? It's just the way culture moves. It's the same way with the music industry. It's like, there's great bands that would have been huge in the 90s that are nothing right now because the sort of music they do is not in vogue. And that's what's happening with the MCU.
Mhm.
The MCU,
Not
as
everyone
a
could have the
thing,
lasting power, of course, of Weezer. If you're
yeah,
watching on YouTube, you could see I'm sporting a legend.
yeah. But I think that's the thing that we have to think about, is that the MCU as a thing has less power than it used to, and it's
Yeah.
going to continue to dwindle. And I think something like a Spider-Man movie is still going to be big because kids are always going to love Spider-Man, but they're not always going to love the new Captain America and Thor as a woman at some point, and a Red Hulk, and
And a Craven the Hunter.
and a Crave. Yeah, like, but I mean, that's not MCU. I mean,
Right,
you're
right.
diluting my point. You're jumping in with something that is completely like not helping my argument.
I can't imagine how Craven the Hunter doesn't help any argument.
But do you know what I mean, David? I think that's the thing, is like, it might be as simple as that. Is just culture moved on, and us as pundits, because superheroes dominated for so long, are trying to think of a reason that's deeper or quality based, and it's just not there.
I think we've gotten more particular as a
Mhm.
society. Like, I think, like, what you guys just said about Spider-Man, of course. I mean, Spider-Man's my favorite hero by a mile. Like, I care. I would argue that I personally care more about the Spider-Man movie than Doomsday, just as a fan. But I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, to be fair. So with that being said, I do think, though, what they're doing, and the fact that now we are shifting into the less is more idea finally, where we're going to, us at the direct and just those that are into fandom, we've got some TV shows coming. We're going to be starving for this content. Like, by Doomsday, we will be absolutely starving for this movie. And I think there's a way. Marketing is going to be huge. I think these box office numbers, honestly, and might shift their marketing strategy to focus more on legacy, because, by the way, people love to shit on it. Purely business wise, the multiverse has worked. No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Deadpool and Wolverine, like, these are some of the biggest movies of their respective years. And then you go do this, and we can move off Marvel. I know we have a Naked Gun to talk about. One thing I want to pose to you guys, though, and I saw some people on Twitter pointing this out, and I think it's a really great point. Did Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania cause all of this? Like,
Yes.
was that the nexus point of where we are today, where Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic can't make $700 million globally because it's not going to, and it should. For me, it's like that should be. I'm sure Disney's thinking the same thing. That should be a $700-800 million. It's the Fantastic Four. I know they've had poor success in theaters before. 10 years ago is the worst flop ever. They had a huge cast. It's a huge name in comic books. That should be one of those movies. But in so many respects, I think, and a lot of people went out and saw Quantumania opening weekend. That broke the trust of so many people. And I don't know if we've recovered from that yet. We might eventually. I think there is a way where it could be back on the upswing. But right now, I think that 2025 has felt those residual effects, because if you think about it, like, we're still close to that in terms of their strategy. That was the beginning of 2023. Then we had Guardians 3. By the way, same as Spider-Man, its own thing. A James Gunn movie that is ending out a trilogy. Everyone's backing him because he was fired and came back, and it was a whole separate story. Great, and a really good movie, great movie.
Yeah.
The Marvels, biggest flop in MCU history during the actors' strike, total disaster. Then they're like, break. Iger's like, bump Captain America to 2025. I don't want this thing on my receipt for 2024. We are only releasing Deadpool and Wolverine in 2024. We only have one MCU movie. Everyone knows that. Everyone loves Deadpool. Everyone loves Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. $1.3 billion. Boom. So we're still, by the time we're at Brave New World and Thunderbolts, we're not that far from Quantumania. Like, in that respect, because we're getting more specific. It's that general MCU feeling where the general MCU used to break in everyone. The Captain Marvels, the original Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, there was just, because it's Marvel Studios, I'm going to see it. And now it's kind of almost going a bit more old school, where it feels more compartmentalized, where it is the property and the character that is holding up box office performances rather than the Marvel Studios name, which compared to 2018, 2019 is a disaster for Kevin Feige, because they used to that was, like you said, Clayton, an incredible run. Well, we're never going to see it again in that same vein, because anything they did, even if it wasn't even that great, by the way, like not people now look back and like, oh, because everything was good back then. That is not true. Like
No.
I do not
We lived
like
through
Ant-Man and the
Thor
Wasp.
Dark World.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thor Dark World, like the first Captain America's not that good.
Iron Man
Like,
2, yes. We were there.
Iron Man 2, and there's Incredible Hulk. Like there's all these movies that Captain Marvel even, like, that weren't that good, but still everyone went and saw, and maybe we're getting wiser. But I say we're getting wiser, yet the second highest grossing movie of the year is a Minecraft movie. So it's just, you just
But
have to play.
it's the thing that people now think is cool or is cool.
Yeah.
Or video games.
Play,
You
yeah.
talk about it's never gonna be 2019 again, and maybe it won't. Where everything built to Infinity War, Endgame, 10 years of people caring about this. And the future where that could happen is the Nintendo cinematic universe. Someday we could be sitting in a time on this show and we're talking about how Super Mario and Zelda and Link and Metroid, and they're all about to do a team up movie, and that's going to make $2 or $3 billion. Like that could be where we go. That's the world in which people have been with something for 10 years and then it pays off. Like we could get there, but it's not going to be superheroes again. It's
Yeah.
not going to be Iron Man and Captain America and all of them teaming up to make $2 billion. It's going to be Mario and it's going to be Mega Man.
Well, I mean, I think the thing with the comic books is that they lend themselves to interconnectivity the way that video games don't, because you'd have to explain why now Mario's in Zelda's world and where Metroid came from and all that stuff.
There's a cube, there's a ring.
Okay,
there's
sure.
Something,
but what I'm just saying with the comic,
there's a controller. There's a controller. There's a magic controller in all these movies. They all have to get a controller. And then Super Mario is hanging out with Double Dragon.
That's great. And that's a great pitch. And you should hold on to that. You gave up gold there just for free, which you shouldn't have done. But the thing with the comic book movies is that the thing that, Feige figured out, and, his creative brain trust figured out, is like, look, we have the stories already. All these characters exist in the same world. Most of them live in New York City. You know what I mean? So it's like, that was right there for the taking.
All those games came with instruction booklets that all had a little story at the beginning of it.
Yeah, great.
You're very upset.
And
about
someone
the
opens the
Metroid
booklet
and
then
Mario being in a movie together. I don't know why this gets you. It really gets you.
I'm not saying that I'm upset with it. I'm just saying that the reason why that universe worked organically is because it was already set up for the filmmakers. They'd have to do some like hang ringing and some like figuring out like machinations to make this work.
A joystick.
Okay.
That's all you need is a joystick.
But I think the thing with the Quantumania, and we said this on the show, is that I think the Marvels gets all the crap,
right?
And it wasn't the Marvels, it's Quantumania. That was the movie that really soured people. But as you were saying previously, there were bad Marvel movies before that had done well. And I do think that the thing is that people saw Quantumania and were like, oh yeah, most of these are bad. And we're not it's sort of, there was such a thin line between like a really good superhero movie and a terrible superhero movie. And that one crossed that line. And now people's minds they can never go back to everything's great. And they really have to sit there and be like, is this good? Where they weren't doing that with the other MCU movies beforehand. They weren't doing it.
Yeah. And I think even though they're different things, I think it also is that period where not just you had Quantumania and the Marvels, but you also had the Flash, Blue Beetle, the DC side was putting out Shazam 2, stuff that was so reviled that just to a general public, they just got sick of the whole superhero thing all in 1 year. Because that was what, 2020, 24, you just had every DC movie
Did
was
you
a
say Black
disaster.
Adam?
Black Adam, of course,
Yeah.
that whole run between the two studios, other than Guardians 3, which people look at as a totally separate thing. I think everyone just got turned off by all of it. And with Superman, DC was able to put out something that is new and people really liked. And Marvel still in the last couple of years hasn't been able to do that. They haven't put out something that, again, Deadpool's a sequel. They haven't put out something that has really changed the public favor for them.
And there used to be a time where Bazinga Bro could go up to a girl who looked like Zooey Deschanel
Yep.
and start talking about the MCU, and they would listen and they
Yes.
would nod and they might throw something back. Now that Bazinga Bro goes up to that Zooey Deschanel looking girl, and out comes the whistle.
Yeah.
It's 911 texting. They're running away.
Yeah. A friend is coming over and saying, "Oh, you've got an emergency. Grandpa's sick. We got to go."
Yeah. Now, again, I mean, that's pre-COVID. Now, post-COVID, that Zooey Deschanel girl is probably been radicalized online, is now homesteading, and is singing ukulele songs about RFK's
Right.
plan and drinking raw milk.
Right. So she wouldn't even be at the bar.
No, so many things have changed,
So many
right?
things have changed,
So
yeah.
many things have changed, but I'm just saying that right now that conversation would not happen.
Would not happen. So superhero movies, they're in a curious state, though. Again, Superman is gigantic, so it's
not
more about
gigantic.
Marvel.
It's not gigantic.
It's not gigantic, but it's a hit. It's liked. It's a thing that people like.
It's liked.
It's a huge domestic hit. I mean, I feel like it's killing it.
And it's got legs. The thing is, people like it. People like it.
it's holding well. Like, I mean, people keep going out and seeing it, and that's one positive, is that like Fantastic Four didn't kill Superman,
Right.
which was people were looking out for sure. It'll be interesting to see like how that all winds up. And that was, you mentioned 2023, Pat, with DC. I mean, those are the three lame duck movies: Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman. Like, they were moving on to a brand new universe, and they were just like, yeah, let's release these films that we already made. Like, that was so bad,
I mean, never forget the Aquaman premiere party that was in the basement of a lower church, where they were just giving out Fig Newtons, where Jason Momoa was giving out high season Fig Newtons in a church basement. So,
and he was saying, "Don't tell anybody, but I'll be Lobo soon. I'll be Lobo soon.
Yeah,
I'll be Lobo soon.
Yeah, he'll be back in our
He's
lives,
hanging out. Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Minecraft, huge hit. So people are primed for more Momoa.
Yeah. No, he has no
Jack
problems.
Black they run the box office these days. You mentioned Mario. I mean, Jack Black is the video game box office guy.
He's the guy. So,
and yet nobody was like, he should be Link.
No one. I mean, listen, you got CGI now. He could be Link. So
that movie's going to be fascinating. I know I'm not the video game guy, but like I'm really excited to see what happens with that film. That's Wes Ball, the guy who did Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Sony making it live action. That could be, if they do that right, huge. That could be just monumental. Because you're right, video games are taking over, and I love Mario. I love the Mario movie. I love the direction they made. It was just fun kid movie, like great. Perfect way to make $1 billion. They're making a second one that's coming out next year. I mean, and I think the way in is you make a Smash Brothers movie. That's where it's natural for all of them to be crossed over. You have the giant hand, like you're fighting that thing. I would say maybe
that's their Avengers. Super Smash Brothers are the Avengers.
No, go back to what you were saying about it's a joystick and
it's
a magic
joystick.
controller.
A joystick is still going to be how you get to the race. It's going to be the joystick is going to be the
to the race.
Stone.
What is this? The race? What are you talking about?
Not Mario Kart.
The Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers. It's all going to be in a $3 billion movie.
My gosh,
that is the Avengers. The Super Smash Brothers are the Avengers.
A joystick is how you get to the race,
and the joystick is how you get to the race. Exactly.
Right.
But there's booklets too.
So, I mean, we're going to get into Naked Gun, but just real quick, as we're talking about video games, David, is the direct? How hard are you guys going to go into video game coverage going forward? I mean, again, the superhero thing is always going to be gigantic. You guys are fine, but you cover the universes we love. That is the
Tagline of the
the
podcast, that's right.
tagline of the podcast. Video game universes, is that the pivot, or is that the, will we be getting more of that at the direct? Will we be getting Metroid coverage in the next year?
Maybe. I don't think we'll. We don't do like video game reviews. We do some movie reviews and mainly movie news still. And sometimes, I guess there's plenty. We found there's plenty of people that like to read or maybe even watch about comic books and comic book movies that don't go to the theaters. People might enjoy reading about how it's underperforming, or about this and that, and just like out of curiosity. When it comes to video games, yeah, like I'd say Mario for sure. Mario is one of those things where Minecraft even was one of those things where that's just movies. Like at that point, Five Nights at Freddy's, like these are just the biggest franchises now in cinemas, and we have to respect that now. And it's kind of amazing we got here all of a sudden. Like it's 5 years ago saying video game franchising in cinemas is bigger than comic book movies would be a joke. Like you'd be like, no way. There's no way that's possible. And here we are. Because I do think the Minecraft of it all, like that proved that you're hitting a different generation. That generation they've grown up a little bit, and they can now make their way somehow to the movie theater. I don't know. Kids don't leave their house anymore, but they made their way there with their popcorn and their chickens, and can make Minecraft basically $1 billion film, which you would never have expected 5 years ago. And it's fascinating. It's sign of the times, and I do still feel like the studios are always behind. Which is, shout out to the studio, the show with Seth Rogen, and Matt Bellany, of course, great actor.
Of course, yes. I heard he has a podcast, this actor.
Yeah.
Maybe check that out. Let's watch the show. Like it's true. I think they're just behind the time. Like the whole Kool-Aid project, that like I just feel like they're still a little bit. They're not. There could be even more exposure of IP, I think is my point.
Yes.
Like there really could be.
We should be talking about the Skibbity Toilet movie this summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Skibbity Toilet movie should have come out this summer, and even that is late.
Where's the Fortnite movie? Like what?
Where is the Fortnite movie? I mean, they were announcing major plot points for the last theatrical Star Wars movie in Fortnite. They should have just canned that movie and just done a Fortnite movie instead.
Why aren't they making movies like the Lego movie still? That was such a I really like that got into that mix of like kids and IP and like all these great things. Like that's what this whole like Super Mario Bro Smash Brothers thing should be. Just collect them all together, make a decent story. Everyone's gonna go see that 4-quadrant. Like it's just fun. Like people now really respond to. It's not. I think as like a film auteur, like it's not a great thing. People respond to stuff they're familiar with, that they like, that they're passionate about, because people have their passions. Like people just love Minecraft, people love Mario, people love Five Nights at Freddy's, like all these different like fandoms that really could be even more so exposed and made into these big crossover events like Marvel made the playbook for. Don't just make one, don't just make a sequel, make it an event, make it a crossover.
Why aren't these studios going on YouTube and looking at what are the games that kids are watching other kids play? What are the views on some of these game watching things? Go on Twitch. Who's the hottest Twitch person? What game are they playing? And then make that into a movie.
Right. I Show Speed the movie, obviously.
Right.
So speaking of franchises, The Naked Gun came out this weekend. It finally came out. And the big question was, can comedy as a theatrical property be saved? And The Naked Gun came out and made it a clean 17 million at the box office.
2 million higher than it's tracking.
2 million higher than it's tracking. I think though we're in the unfortunate position of you still don't totally know. I mean, I predicted 33 and a third. Of course, I had to. I couldn't pass up predicting 33 and a third for the opening weekend. But there was the hope this thing opens in the 20s. It opens to 22, 25. And then we know, wow, we really have something here. And that's not what happened. but it did open on the high end of this tracking. So I think the question on this one is going to be the legs, whether this is word of mouth and we see if this is something people really want to go to the movies to laugh together, or if that is a thing of the past. I mean, David, have you seen this film, and what is your Naked Gun affiliation? Is this a franchise that has ever meant anything to you?
No, absolutely, like, no idea. We were talking about that a
Wow.
little bit when we met up. And like and you're really excited about it. And it's funny because like I really have no connection to it. I get the buzz. I really like Liam Neeson, but I am a part of the generation where it's like he is the action star, you know,
Mhm.
like and he's Qui-Gon Jinn and stuff. Like he's not like the comedy guy, but I heard a lot of people at Comic-Con talk like really excited about the movie. The problem for me with like comedies is, you know, the holding power. And I just feel like they've been so like Netflix. Happy Gilmore 2 just came out. That's one of the most popular movies right now, but it's on Netflix. Like,
Mhm.
I hate that so much. But
Mhm.
like, and then we have Freaker Friday coming out. You know, it's just, and that's a movie that I will definitely see opening weekend because that I am the target, demo for that film. So 17 million though I thought was promising. I hope they keep putting out comedies in theaters because what was the movie with Kiki Palmer? One of them days earlier this
Yeah.
year.
Days.
That was a
Yeah.
really like I thought going and seeing that movie, packed theater, having a good time. Like I think when people go out and do see comedies in theaters, they remember, oh right, this is fun. Like this is a more enjoyable experience. But these studios, they just keep taking checks to put them on streaming because it's just easier that way, I guess, or
Mhm.
I don't know the business, but like completely, it's just such a shame that it doesn't keep happening because I think the Naked Gun, I hope it does great. I think 17 million is a pretty strong start, honestly. I mean, this is like I said, a very big. The Bad Guys 2 also came out. Like, there's a lot of stuff. We're fighting for screens right now,
Right.
in cinemas. Super strong start, especially with like an older star. Not a huge franchise by any means, but a known franchise at least. And yeah, I mean, I hope it's a sign that more will come because we see that from time to time. There are still those moments where it's like, oh wow, like that really overperformed, even though it's not like we talk about a Marvel movie or the biggest IP possible. And we need those wins to keep cinema alive. I think genuinely, like we can't just anchor ourselves to a Minecraft movie.
Right.
So, I mean, good things about this, right?
Mhm.
This did higher than its tracking. It's in double digits, not single digits. I mean, we're talking about like, this is one of the Lonely Island guys.
Yep.
And the other movies they've been involved with.
Opens like $2 million.
Yeah, Pop Star,
Yeah.
Hot Rod. I mean, even
MacGruber, the
MacGruber.
movie,
Great
yeah.
movies.
And these are all fantastic movies.
Right.
Hilarious movies.
But all opened in low single digits.
Yeah. This opened above its tracking.
Yeah.
Which is a win.
Yeah.
Higher than No Hard Feelings a couple years ago.
Yep.
2 million higher than that, right? The demos. So, the 25 to 34 was the largest demo at 27%.
Okay.
Right? So that's good.
That's good.
18 to 34, 47%. The younger people gave this a high recommend. That's more male leaning, 62%. So you hope you can get some ladies in on this, maybe. Right. Good word of mouth. That's positive.
Sure, it's great. Yeah.
I think the thing with this movie that's going to be hard coming up is that exactly what you said, David, is next weekend, Freakier Friday. And I think that's the same demo that's going to be going to that. And then Weapons.
And Weapons
is going to be really big.
That's the event movie.
There's been piss poor horror basically this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And I really fear that Naked Gun is going to lose out because the people who went to see it loved it, wanted to see it first weekend. And then everybody else is like, I'll wait until it streams because it's a comedy. That's the thing. They'll say,
Yeah.
I don't need to see this on the big screen because it's a comedy. Comedy is either on my phone or on my or on Delta
Right.
or on my Apple TV or my Fire Stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And that's sad.
It's the thing of, there was a time when Cameron Diaz would get hair gel, and of course I'm putting that in quotes, hair gel in her hair, and everyone talked about it, and everyone told everyone at the office, at the water cooler, that came on the summer, so summer school students, summer camps, everyone would tell everyone they met, you got to see this movie. Cameron Diaz gets, in quotes, hair gel in her hair. You have to see this. And there's a scene with a dog, and there's
the pork and beans,
and everyone would tell everyone about these scenes, and you've got to go see it. And then people would go week after week after week. The way people share comedy now is they share it only on their phone. They say, here is the comedy. I'm going to send it to you. You're going to watch it in a different state than I am. And then that'll be how we tell each other about comedy. And with Naked Gun, I don't know if people tell people anymore about a joke that you should see. You know, if you can't just send them the joke, I don't think people know how to talk about or recommend comedy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do teenagers just say something funny, but if they can't send the meme or they can't send the TikTok, they don't know how to recommend a joke or to do a joke. You know, we would go around and we do the hair gel. You know, we take something, whatever we had handy, and we do this with our hair. And that is how we would share that joke. Or we would do our Austin Powers impression. We would do Party on Wayne, Party on Garth. And then everyone had to go see it.
Now people would send a GIF of Austin Powers instead of doing the voice.
Right.
They would just send it to their phone and be like, do I make you horny, baby, in GIF form.
Right. And
it
would be out of context. It would be about like a news event that, you know, the politician said something and then you say, do I make you horny, baby? And it would be very confusing. And I think that is the problem with this movie, word of mouth. People liked it, but are they going to tell other people to go see it? Because I don't think people talk about comedy that way.
They were like, I'll wait for the memes. I'll wait for the memes.
That's one. It's just, there's so, like I said, there's so much in theaters right now. I really just think it's like, oh, that movie's good. Oh, it came out. All right. Yeah, I'll see it in a couple months. I talk to people all the time that have that just way of thinking. And it's hard. It's really hard to break through when it's not, you know, big franchise and it doesn't feel like you need to see it in theaters necessarily. Like if you would prefer to just watch it at home and you're happy being patient, that's just how it's going to go with a movie like Naked Gun. Maybe, I don't know. I still think it's going to be a success all in all. And there is, even in my circles where I don't, know a lot of people that went and saw it opening weekend, it's all positive. It's like the movie's really funny. So it is like something where it's not by no means is it being called a bad movie. It's something where it's like, okay, maybe I will actually go out and see that. That is an option for me to see if I don't want to see or it makes more sense with the time I'm going to. So like, I don't know. It's fascinating to me. The one thing I will say, I'm curious what you guys think about this. Is Liam Neeson driving any of this box office? Like, do you think if it's not Liam Neeson, is it at single digits? Because I can't. I don't have an answer to that question. I really can't tell.
Here's what I'll say. If this is, and there was a time when we wouldn't say his name because we said his name and we famously lost an episode of a podcast years ago, but now he's such a disaster. We say his name. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
If Chris Hemsworth had been tapped to be the star of The Naked Gun, which is very much would have been a possibility. I mean, this is the guy, they put him in Ghostbusters. They put him in Men in Black International. They wanted to leverage how hilarious he is.
So funny.
And make him a comedy star. There is a world in which they say, oh, he's the tough guy playing against hype. Let's have him be Frank Drebin Jr., Naked Gun. I think the Chris Hemsworth version of Naked Gun does open to less than the Liam Neeson version, which is on some level wild to think because, of course, Chris Hemsworth has been in billion-dollar movies and Liam Neeson, even at his height, the Taken movies, make 100 million domestic. but I do think Chris Hemsworth
Oh yes.
makes this opens to 9 million if it's the same movie with Chris Hemsworth.
9. You're being nice.
You think I'm being
this
nice?
movie opens. This flies to the moon. This movie flies to the moon if Chris Hemsworth is the lead. Nobody. Furiosa.
Wow.
You forgot Furiosa. He killed Mad Max too.
Right.
So he's killed everything.
You know, there's a world in which they could have gone for a different story. I think they made the right casting choice in that that's what the Naked Gun is supposed to be.
Yes.
A really serious actor who is playing it straight, you know.
It's perfect casting.
It's perfect casting, but there's a world in which I guess you do Channing Tatum or Ryan Gosling. I mean, that's a bigger movie, different budget, but maybe that opens bigger because it appeals to younger people in a way in which Liam Neeson, I think, is a tougher sell.
I don't know. I think Liam
teenagers.
Neeson is a guy. I think he's looked at as the serious old guy action star.
Totally, yeah.
Which I think still carries some weight for people to see him being goofy.
I think it works for the quality
because
of the movie,
these kids didn't see the Entourage movie where Liam Neeson does a comedic performance in it.
He laughs at himself.
Yeah, they didn't see that, so they missed out on that. They didn't get a chance to see that in theaters because they were too young. Now they're getting a chance to see this serious action star be goofy, and I think it was perfect casting. I think this movie does not work if you cast anybody else.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anybody else you could cast in this movie.
Yeah, I think that
Gosling.
Robert De Niro.
No, De Niro. People don't know. I mean,
Bad Grandpa.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's perfect casting. The movie is great. I mean, Clayton and I saw this. This is your birthday movie. Obviously, we've moved on from your birthday. We're not going to keep mentioning it, but we saw this. We loved it.
So good. The audience,
everything we wanted it to be.
The audience we saw it with were with it the whole time. Yeah. Big laughs.
Love that.
Friday night, 7:45. Not a full house though. Not a full, but pretty close. I mean, we had people sitting on either side of us.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't completely packed. But again, 7:45. Maybe the kids are going to the 9, the 9, the 11 because they can stay up later. But everybody was in on it. Everybody, like you said, this is not a movie that is, it's for hardcore comedy fans only. This is for people who there's so many jokes for every level of person in this movie.
Yeah.
And if this, and I think the way these movies are set up are the same way that young people like their comedy, which is absurdist and quick fire and stuff like that. So,
but it's not a forward facing phone video. It's not vertical. It's not you holding the phone and pointing at it yourself, which that could be confusing.
If they would have shot this movie as a vertical video, would it have done better?
Yes.
If the aspect ratio was more akin to what kids are used to seeing comedy.
I mean, I think the demos would have been different for sure. I think you would have had a higher percentage in that 18 to 24 if this were vertical video, self-facing video. Where Liam Neeson is holding the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Would it have done more? Because I think some people of our generation wouldn't have went. But I think the thing on this is going to be, in the end, will this be a movie that gets to 42 million, tops out in the 40s, does around, because No Hard Feelings did what? Did it get to 50? Got to high 40s? Domestic, worldwide, got in the 70s, something like that, right?
And I think you're being high on. I think you're higher than.
I think it got to 45 or so, but if that's what Naked Gun gets to, I don't think it's the movie that reignites studios producing a lot of theatrical comedies. I think they might say, yeah, we did okay on that, and maybe we'll do another comedy in 5 years, or comedy is just something that lives inside of video game movies, superhero movies, horror comedies, low budget, Death of a Unicorn, A24 type movies.
It's tough. I mean, No Hard Feelings made 50.4 domestic, and but then that was a huge movie on Netflix. More people saw that movie on Netflix. Right. There's no doubt about it. And Sony's got that good deal where I think Sony's very smart. They never like try to compete and never started their own streamer or anything like that. Like they still just license out, and at least they're still doing the thing, even though Sony's in not a good spot. But so I shouldn't be giving them too much of an applause. They still do the thing where they try to release in theaters, then it goes to streaming licensing deal, goes to Netflix, has a big show, has a big run on there where there's that recognizability going forward, where maybe there could be a sequel or something. And it's, I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder what the thought process of these studios, what it is when you go into it, when it comes to, if you're releasing in theaters, is there any part of you that plans for the streaming part afterwards? I imagine there is some of that, like, drawing in that kind of an audience, like where that's, I think, where stars in many ways almost shine more than movies. I think franchises, or in cinemas, franchises, I think, can sometimes get people excited to go out to theaters. But when you're doom scrolling Netflix and you're scrolling on Amazon, you look for faces. It's titles you're not really looking for. It's those faces where you see, Jennifer Lawrence, and now you're going to see Liam Neeson. So I really do wonder, with all the volatility when it comes to I listen to you guys, I read about the box office. It's so hard to pin down movie stars these days that actually, in a real way, by themselves, put butts in seats. Like, not because they're connected to this character, or because this franchise is already massive, like Minecraft with Momoa and Jack Black, but just the star themselves, forget about the movie, gets people to go out. I don't know if there's one star that truly does that, because it's in many ways these days, it's always someone coming back to a franchise, like we got with Top Gun Maverick. That's the biggest example I can think of. Cruise coming back to that movie and being that character and being Tom Cruise, is many reasons why that movie was such a big success.
I mean, I think it's still Leo, and I know Killers of Flower Moon.
We're about to check it out. Yeah.
Killers of Flower Moon, would it get to 50, 60 domestic? That kind of subject matter, that's a win for him that movie got to where it got, because there's no other star where that makes double digits with that subject matter. And I think we're going to see if the PTA movie gets even close to 100 domestic, it's like they're going because of him. I mean, there hasn't been a PTA movie that has, I think, gotten to like 35 domestic ever. So I think he's still the one. But yeah, when it comes to comedy, there just aren't comedy stars.
Well, yeah, because what is comedy now? Comedy is nearly middle-aged or older guys talking about politics.
Yes.
That's where comedy lives now. The idea of what comedy is that, or like there are some great absurdist young people on TikTok doing some funny stuff, but when people think comedy, they think Theo Vaughn, they think Andrew Schultz, they think Bill Maher.
Right.
Like this is what comedy is to people, and it's all like angry, cynical, like bullies.
And they don't to build a Club Random the movie.
Well,
that would be the thing, but that would be akin to Wayne's World going from SNL to the big screen. Would be next summer Bill Maher in Club Random the movie.
And listen, we watched SNL,
and maybe it could happen. Maybe there's a director out there who could figure out how to make a 90-minute Club Random the movie comedy starring Bill Maher. But I think that would be tough to do.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, is when we were talking about comedy now, those are the people that get the most clicks, and you cannot adapt them into a movie. And we talked about Bus Boys with David Spade and Theo Vaughn that got crowdfunded or whatever.
Right. But The Machine, I mean, we go back to The Machine.
That's the thing. The Machine was the sort of shot across the bow that was like, couldn't this work? And it didn't.
Right.
And this crop of comedians
right,
are not ready for big cameras.
Isn't Shane Gillis? Shane Gillis is a name that I think is interesting with the comedy. He hasn't. I don't think he's been in any movies.
He has Tires.
He has the show. I mean, he would be the guy that would be a studio would probably green light a movie at a certain budget based around him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but by the way, back to Happy Gilmore 2. Like Adam Sandler is a Netflix guy. Like that's a thing. Like these movies really are like it's so that should have been. I mean, really should have been a theatrical movie. I think it's absolutely insane that was straight to streaming. That would have been a huge hit, and I'll never understand.
I don't know. I love Adam Sandler as much as the next person, but I think that he's allowed to do things because he's on Netflix that he can't do in a theater.
Maybe
like that movie in the theater would have been a terrible experience.
Really,
but watching it at home,
okay.
I was like, this is fine for what it is. Like I'm enjoying this experience, but I would not go to the theater to watch that movie.
Okay,
because it's a different beast. He makes Netflix movies. He doesn't make real movies.
So you would say Happy Gilmore 2 is a totally different experience than the Grown Ups movies because Dan Patrick's in all of them.
Yeah, no,
it's not just
no.
The Dan Patrick, Chris Berman acting with wigs in these movies. Like that happened in Grown Ups too. Grown Ups 2 had Shaq and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You have not seen this
I have
movie
not
yet.
seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet.
Yeah, you will know what I'm talking about. There's like a thin line. Again, I'm talking about the thin lines in the margins now between a Grown Ups and Happy Gilmore 2 and the rest of his Netflix output.
Okay.
There is a big difference.
Okay.
You will put up with certain things on Netflix that you will not put up with in a movie theater.
Okay.
He was getting close with the grown-up movies, but this is a whole nother thing.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think the death of comedy was not saved this weekend. Again, great movie. Everyone should go see it.
And let's not $17 million. Like this movie made $17 million.
We of course wanted a giant number that let us say, man, they are going to green light comedies. And that's not what we got this weekend.
But for what this was tracking at and what they expected and what they wanted, they got it plus $2 million.
Yes.
So this is a success.
Yes.
And again, the same way we can't look at pre-COVID Marvel movies, we can't look at 15 years ago comedy movies. We have to look at comedy now. And this thing did not make single digits. And it did not crash out.
It did not. I think the thing compared to superhero movies is superhero movies are at no risk of not being made. Even if there's a year gap, it's like they're going to make superhero movies.
Yes.
We wanted a result that made it
unequivocal
that they are going to green light big screen comedies, and that's not what we got with 17 million, which was a success for this movie.
Yes,
but we wanted it to
and it could be the start. Listen, it could be the start of something too.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing, is like
maybe this gets to 60-70 million and then they greenlight more comedies. Bad Guys 2, last thing, kids movie, did basically exactly what the first one did.
A little bit less. Like I said, it would do.
Will it leg out to what the first one did? First one almost got to 100 million domestic.
I don't think so. I think this is something that's going to be fine. It's going to do 70, 80.
Okay.
And then that's it, which is good.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else really for kids at the moment, like kids, little kids, that hasn't been out for a while.
David, this seems like a post-COVID thing where it's hard to start a new kids franchise where these something like Bad Guys isn't blowing up into being a bigger sequel. It's as if kids saw it and then kids have decided we've seen it and that's fine, rather than kids seeing it and saying, oh, every kid I know also has to go see this and it's going to be bigger than the last one.
Yeah, DreamWorks. Like, it's definitely hard to start franchises now in cinemas, and it goes back to what we were talking about with streaming. Like, I'm sure Bad Guys is huge on streaming wherever it is. I guess on the cock.
It was on the cock, and then it did have a Netflix run.
Right,
so
that's right. They had that whole
setup.
setup. Yeah, they had that whole deal. That's right.
Yeah,
so
but definitely some families saw it on the cock.
Right, of course. And I think there is some value to that, where I'm sure the streaming numbers for Bad Guys 1 were really positive, and that's why they made a Bad Guys 2. And hell, if studios have to look at streaming numbers to greenlight other movies in theaters, by all means, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think this is one where not a huge franchise, no nostalgia. Like, I have a question for you guys after this, by the way, based on that. No nostalgia. No one's going, this is a pure kids movie, I don't think that's bad at all. I don't think it's a bad opening at all. That opening suggests to me that was the kids film of choice right now, because there really isn't too much, unless you're finding small screenings of stuff that opened, I guess back in June at this point.
You're forgetting about Smurfs, my friend.
Oh, no one saw Smurfs.
True.
No one cares about Smurfs. That's the thing.
The Smurfs isn't getting covered on the direct. That's not a universe we love.
No, not a universe we love. Not a universe we care about. Like you guys talked about it. It's like no one. That was such a, back to what I said about different IP studios should be exposing. The Smurfs should not have been on that list. Who is that for? Like, sure, they're cute and they had their movies and of course, like, very famous, but in modern day, absolutely not.
If you did with the Snorks,
if you did a live action The Smurfs where Jack Black was blue, the Smurfs are not animated. The Smurfs are people painted blue, and one of them was Jack Black as Papa Smurf. Or is there like a lead Smurf who's not Papa Smurf, just like Joe, like Hero Smurf?
I think Smurfette is usually like the
main non-Papa Smurf. So Jack Black is Papa Smurf, painted blue. That's a different story, but you're not doing that.
You always want these you always want these freakish. I remember when that Charlie Brown movie came out the decade ago, and you're like, that's live action, right?
Yeah, I wanted live action Marmaduke. That's famously, I always wanted.
You just want
someone in a dog suit as Marmaduke. But
speaking of live action, people have had this idea. You mentioned Cameron Diaz earlier, and I put a pin in it. December 2026. Does Shrek 5 or Avengers Doomsday make more money?
Shrek 5.
Shrek.
It's so beloved. There's so much pent up need. I look at Shrek 5 as Jurassic World. Yes. I feel like that's a Jurassic World situation, because I think it's that much pent up. We want more of this. It's been too long.
Yeah. I think
is there an animated? I don't even know what an animated like comparison would be. Animation, I guess Toy Story. We're gonna have another Toy Story come out.
Even that, there just was one like not that long ago.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Shrek thing is gonna both be earnest and ironic, where there will be people who do love these. We love them. They are good, and that is my childhood. All that stuff.
That's me. Yep.
Earnestly wanting to see it. And I think this will be, and as a 44-year-old man predicting a TikTok meme a year and a half in advance, I think it's going to be a Gentle Munions type thing with Shrek, where people are going to be ironically, some kind of Shrek moment will happen.
Gentle Munions was not ironic.
It was, but you know what I mean?
It was genuine.
There's going to be
those young men wanted to dress up.
They did.
For an occasion.
They did. But
they so rarely get a chance to.
I think that 100% there is going to be social, young, old, all kinds of moments around Shrek. I think if Doomsday opens within a week or two of Shrek, they're going to regret it.
It's 1 week. It's 1 week before Shrek 5 as of right now.
1 week.
Yeah. That could be a situation where Doomsday should rethink that date, because going into the holidays, you could have multiple big movies for sure.
I bet it moves off of it.
But I think they should move earlier. I think
it's not even a week. It's 5 days. Looking at it right now. It's December 18th is Avengers 5, and Shrek 5, ironically, is December 23rd, right before Christmas.
Yeah. I think that is it. That is a big problem for 5
years. And currently right now, Dune Messiah opens the same day as Avengers, but that'll probably move.
Yeah, what moves in that situation? Does Dune move out a year? They're filming now, so Dune probably goes.
I think Dune might go early.
Dune might go earlier.
Go into the summer. Okay.
Or November or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you, the more and more we think about Doomsday, there's some trouble there, because if Dune 3 is going to be, they're going to try and make that this is the big Oscar year for Dune. This is the culmination. People love those movies. It's got Timmy.
Maybe
It's
Chalamet's the
cool.
star I was thinking about, by the way, earlier. That's maybe who gets butts in seats the most.
I mean,
Like,
listen, if he gets to like 70 million for that tabletop tennis movie, the ping
Oh, I
pong
can't
movie,
wait.
then yeah, he's a star.
I'm just asking you right now, both of you.
Yeah.
Is there a character in Doomsday that anybody wants to see more than Donkey and Shrek? And remember, RDJ is not playing Iron Man. He's
Right.
playing Doctor Doom.
Right. And Spider-Man is not in Doomsday.
I would say of those that had a chair, no.
Yeah.
But there's
Mhm.
going to be more in it. Like, it's not only going to be them. But of those that had a chair, I would say no. But
If
you know,
Spider-Man is in Doomsday, Spider-Man is bigger than Donkey, except we would have just seen Spider-Man a few months before,
Donkey
and we haven't seen Donkey
dying for Donkey.
Yeah.
for Donkey. They should do a parody live stream with chairs that have
Shrek characters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where is
Gingerbread
that?
Gingerbread
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
They have Puss in Boots.
Yes.
They have all the famous ones that are escaping my mind at the moment, but we know we all love them.
Lord Farquaad.
And then at the end,
Yeah.
it's just Donkey sitting in the chair and he's going,
shh. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
they have to do
the
it.
$1 billion idea.
They have to do it.
Yeah.
Forget what Pat was saying about video games earlier. That's the idea.
But there would be a joystick. He would be holding a joystick.
Well, that's how you get the Shrek characters into the Nintendo universe. Is the joystick.
Oh, you got to do it.
I mean, is there a bigger character in Doomsday amongst the chairs we've seen than the Sandworm from Dune? Right now, amongst younger people, I think the Sandworm is bigger than most of these Marvel characters, bigger than the Fantastic Four. He's bigger than, are they bringing the Eternals back? I forget if they had chairs.
No.
They definitely made it known that the chairs, the Eternal chairs they showed
in a
dumpster.
Yeah. So
Harry Styles.
I think there is a chance
Kumail.
that
Kumail.
Doomsday is going to be, listen, he's still injecting chicken and broccoli every day. He's contractually obligated. So I think that it's a slam dunk. Shrek 5 will be bigger than Doomsday. Doomsday will be bigger than Dune. The Dune movies have a ceiling, but it may be closer than anyone's expecting. I think that is a rough time for Doomsday to be opening if it opens right in between Dune 3 and Shrek 5.
Mm-hmm.
There's no safe haven anymore for these Marvel movies.
No.
So, and Bad Guys 2 did fine. Listen, the thing about a weekend like this is it's great to see multiple movies open up, do well. Something for everyone. There's a studio comedy for people in their 20s and 30s and I guess 40s and 50s. There's Bad Guys 2 for families. We didn't even talk about, there was a horror movie together. Alison Brie and Dave Franco.
It's two creeps.
So you're full on creep. You soured on Dave Franco. You used to be a Dave Franco guy. Neighbors, we would go see those.
Neighbors, I liked the Neighbors.
You were a Dave Franco guy. You were a big supporter.
Not true.
We saw the 21 Jump Street movie. He's very good in that. And you came out of that movie being like, you know what? Is he the better Franco?
This is all libel.
But that movie did 10 million in its 5-day.
No, it didn't.
In its 5-day.
Oh,
it opened on Wednesday. Did 10 million in its 5-day.
Okay. That's trying to pump those numbers.
So David, is that a movie you have any interest in? Are you going to be seeing Together starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who are a real life couple? I don't know if you've known that from.
Yeah, did you know that they are in love?
I did know that.
And they definitely don't
assumed
swing.
That.
They definitely don't swing.
So is that a movie that you have any interest in? They're stuck together.
Me personally, no.
Yes.
Maybe on streaming, not in theaters.
Okay.
No way. Too much is out right now. Too much is going on. I'm not seeing that movie in theaters.
It shows that base level horror is always going to get people in there. You got two basically lower than TV stars at this point, and just a basic horror premise, and it made $10 million in its first 5 days. So it's a win for horror to do that much money with that movie. I mean, the fact that it only did 7 million less than Naked Gun on so much less promotion is just one of those signs that horror is just such a strong theatrical genre.
That's a 5-day compared to a 3-day. So that's
totally.
unfair
And
to
again,
Naked Gun.
you're coming into this with a lot of anti-Dave Franco bias, but
I'll
I know
watch
you-
the clips on A to Z Nudes.
so that is where we're at the box office. And next weekend's going to be big. Weapons and Freakier Friday could be a huge late August or August weekend, a bigger than normal August weekend.
I think the general public are going to be surprised with both of these movies.
Yeah.
And how much they make.
Yeah. So
we will definitely be seeing Freakier Friday opening day. That is on the calendar. Book it.
Now, David, I know, and tell me if this is too far to go, because we don't want to get into your personal life, but your wife, correct?
Yes, my wife.
Your wife, Borat. Freakier Friday. Is this a movie that you're equally interested in seeing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that a big? Was that
on
a
the
big?
DVD.
And was that a big movie for her as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was born 2000. I was 98.
Okay.
So it's like that is just grew up with the movie. Love Lindsay Lohan. So glad she's back in our lives. Jamie Lee Curtis. Like I even think I actually don't think it looks very good, but I will be there opening weekend. Like I am very excited for that movie.
Yeah, I think that's big. I think there's the people the age of David and his wife are very excited for this film.
Yeah.
And they will go en masse, I feel like.
It'll be more of us than kids, guaranteed.
Oh,
I don't know.
And this is a movie that 3 years ago Disney would have put on D+, the way they did the Enchanted sequel.
And we love Lilo and Stitch. Like it's the same idea. It's just, I'm always down for more, just bringing back old Disney franchises. Because I just love Disney, and I'll always go see them. And I know it doesn't always work out, but it's not the Snow Whites. It is the Freakier Fridays. The Lilo and Stitch. Like, give me a Treasure Planet, man. Give me that live action.
Wow, that is crazy. So, Treasure Planet live action.
Wow, Jack Black. So, last thing on this will be, I think, the last 2 movies opening that anyone has in our fantasy box office league.
Yeah, I know.
Both of them are mine.
So
we got Big Pat Weekend coming out next weekend. I'm double fisting at the box office.
Yeah.
So August is now where I make my bones. I had Fantastic Four, and that is, as much as I talk about this drop, it's not good for me. But this Weapons Freakier Friday weekend,
that could be big.
That could be big. So we will cover that. David,
you're currently in last. That's just because of your lack of movies that were released.
Yeah. Well, I've got to check now that Fantastic Four is coming.
Oh, you might not be.
We didn't get an update. We didn't get. I forget. We haven't gotten an update.
Yeah. I will do an official check this weekend. Not that our
only one I trust. Only one I trust.
And you've taken a lot of heat for saying that, for not trusting Twitter user Brandon, who's been doing the math all summer, but David does not trust him. And they have had their back and forth on Twitter over that.
I don't know if he's
of course.
Yeah.
So, David, anything that you want to tell the Wannabe Boys, Wannabe Girls, Wannabe people about going on the direct.com, direct podcast, universes we love, anything that you want to send our listeners to?
Spider-Man is back and better than ever. That new suit is an 11 out of 10 for me. Monday, tomorrow, breaking it down, the direct podcast, and of course, Fantastic Four box office. But boy, am I excited for Spider-Man. He's my number one guy. The number one universe I love is just Spider-Man, period. And I'm so happy that he's back. I'm ready. Tom Holland, the Hulk. We're doing it, man. It's going to be awesome. One year from today, pretty much.
Wow. I want to see David Thompson in a room with Tom Holland and that new Spider-Man soon. David Thompson just grabs him. He's like, "You are my number one guy." That I want to see. I think that would be huge. It would be huge for this movie. So hopefully closer to the release date, they can make that happen.
Right.
Get Tom Holland on the direct.
I was going to say, he needs to do it.
I mean, it's got to happen. We got to get you in that hotel room press junket. I mean, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
So we've got a year-long campaign to make that happen. It will happen. So follow David on the direct, listen to the podcast, of course, email us theboboys at theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod on Instagram, on TikTok. Wanna be VP of Insurance. Christopher's killing it with the vertical clips. And David, obviously you're out there in showbiz in the media world. We got to get Christopher a job in media because right now he is in medical school. And listen, I don't know where he's going to be stationed as a doctor. He might end up operating on you someday if he ends up going all the way through with this, graduating medical school, becoming a surgeon because he can't get a job in media. You might be wheeled in someday to a hospital, look up, and it's Christopher just, bored out of his mind, not paying attention, and he's cutting you open.
AirPods in.
AirPods in.
Well, even worse.
Glazed over look in his eye.
Even worse, it could be like, you couldn't hook me up with an internship at the Direct. You know what I mean? Like, it's either boredom or vengeance. There's no in between.
Right. Right. So that is the danger we all as a society face. If we cannot get Christopher a full-time job in media, he will be a doctor, and then everyone's at risk.
He's given everybody a spinectomy, even if they don't need it.
Yep. He is just taking the chart, tossing it in the trash, and doing whatever he wants. And we're letting it happen. So we've got to get this man a job in media. So follow us.
The most secure place you could be right now in media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today, for sure. So at the BO Boys Pod on social media, we are YouTubers. Hey guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Substack, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, listen to the Direct podcast, go to thedirect.com. That is all I got, Clayton and David. I'm spent.
Pat, I finished.
Great.
And you said it all.
Perfect. Secondly,
nothing left to be said.
I'm out of here.
Except for, until next time,
we'll smell you at the box office. Nailed it. Hey guys.